This is how you set up a new hub and connect it to Wi-Fi first. Please activate the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth on your phone, then download the SofaBaton app. To install SofaBaton on your phone, search for it in the App Store or Google Play and download it. Or use the QR code on the packing box of the X remote. Next, create a SofaBaton account. If you already have an account, log in directly. If you cannot receive the verification code, please refer to the article "Can't receive the verification code." Please note that accounts created on the www.sofabaton.com website are not interchangeable with app accounts. This means if you have an account on the website, you cannot use the same login details for the app, and vice versa. You will need to create separate accounts for each platform. Once you are logged in, choose Set Up New Hub. Once you have set it up initially, all you need to do later is select Connect to Hub. Please follow the instructions displayed on your screen and make sure that the hub is properly connected. Press and hold the power button for 3 seconds until the blue light flashes, indicating that the hub is now in pairing mode. Then proceed to the next step. The app will detect the hub. If you're using iOS, you may need to enable Allow Bluetooth for new devices in Settings. Please choose the Wi-Fi network that you wish to connect to. Kindly note that X1 and X1S are only compatible with 2.4G Wi-Fi and not 5G Wi-Fi. After entering the Wi-Fi password and verifying it, the hub should successfully connect to Wi-Fi. If you're experiencing issues with Wi-Fi authentication on this page, please refer to the article Wi-Fi Authentication Error for detailed solutions. The app will connect directly to the hub and enter the devices page. If there are multiple hubs within the local network, the app may stay on the Connect to Hub page, where you will need to manually select the hub you wish to connect to. Here are some tips for positioning the X1 hub and using IR signals with your devices. If your cabinet is open, position the X1 hub on top of it or on a large, unobstructed shelf. IR signals from the hub will reflect off walls and other surfaces before reaching your devices. So, a direct line of sight is generally unnecessary. The hub should not be placed directly behind or above your devices. If your device is placed in an inaccessible corner or cabinet, it is recommended that you use an IR blaster with the transmitter pointed at the device. When installing the X1 hub in a closed cabinet, position it under or beside your devices. The IR signals transmitted from the hub will reflect off walls, cabinet interiors, and other surfaces before reaching your devices. Therefore, having a direct line of sight is generally not necessary. For how to use our IR blasters, plug the IR blasters into the back of the hub first. Then, press the buttons on the original remotes of your devices to identify the exact location of IR receiving areas of devices, and then paste the head of our IR blasters onto this area. In this video, we will show you how to add a device to your hub. Before we begin, please make sure that your hub is connected to your Wi-Fi network. If it isn't, you'll need to set it up before proceeding. For guidance on this, you can consult the Connecting to Hub article. Once your hub is connected, launch the app on your device, and it will automatically connect to the most recently connected hub. Navigate to the Devices page and click the plus icon in the upper right corner to add a new device. There are 3 options for adding devices: infrared control, Bluetooth, and Wi-Fi. If you are unsure about the control technology of your device, please consult the article How to Know Which Wireless Method Controls My Device. Next, follow the instructions on the app page to complete the subsequent settings. You can select the actual device type to view detailed instructions. You can add an infrared device in 2 ways: by learning from the original IR remote or by searching in the database to download the code library. If you only need 1 or 2 commands for daily use, such as power, it is recommended to learn directly from the original remote. Otherwise, it is advisable to prioritize searching in the database. If you're having trouble with command learning, go back to the previous menu and try entering the learning mode again. If the command seems to have been learned successfully but isn't working when you test it, give learning another shot. Remember, there's no need to hold the button down. Just a quick press and release, as you would normally do, ought to do the trick. Under normal circumstances, you can add a device directly by brand and model. If you can't find an exact match for the model in the database, You could also try adding a device with a similar model, or choose a universal code library from the same series. If your device model is not in the database, you can test a few commands to find a suitable code library. Select I can't find the corresponding model after searching your device brand. Let's take a look at how to add a Bluetooth-controlled device using Apple TV as an example. Since Apple TV is a Bluetooth-controlled device, you will need to navigate to the Apple TV settings to complete the pairing process. To accomplish the task, follow these steps. Stage 1. Please choose your device and proceed with downloading the code. The process may take approximately 20 seconds. Stage 2. Go to the settings of your Apple TV, navigate to Bluetooth, and select the device starting with SofaBaton to pair. The application will display a notification indicating that the device has been added successfully. If your device brand isn't listed, you can opt for a generic device such as a Bluetooth keyboard, Android box, or other. Once paired, the X1 or X1S should be able to control it normally. If your Bluetooth cannot find a device starting with SofaBaton, try restarting your Bluetooth device. Then go back to the previous page in the SofaBaton app and continue to allow the hub to re-enter pairing mode. Currently, we only support Wi-Fi devices from Roku, Sonos, and Philips Hue. Choose the Wi-Fi option for adding a device. The app will automatically scan for devices that can be connected within the same WLAN. After you select the device you wish to add, simply follow the instructions displayed on the screen. If you're having trouble finding your Roku, check and make sure AirPlay is enabled in your Roku settings. Wi-Fi device is controlled via IP. If your device IP changes, the remote control may fail. You can fix this by going to the following location in the app: App, Device, Edit. Reset device IP. This video will guide you through power setting for your newly added device. Before confirming power settings, make sure you have added devices. If you haven't added any yet, you can consult the Adding Devices article. On the device page, you will find that newly added devices have a Not Configured tag. This is a reminder that you need to complete some task before creating an activity. Click on this tag for more detailed. You will find a warm tip message at the top of the page. This message prompts you to complete the power settings before creating an activity. To access the Power Settings page, simply click on Power Settings. Then, following the prompts on the screen, you will need to check the power state setting for your device. If your device doesn't have a power button, the default option is usually no power switch. On the other hand, if your device has a power button, the default option is Turn off when not in use. This means that when you switch to an activity that doesn't require this device, the X-Series hub will automatically send a command to turn it off. Check if the default power command for the device matches your original remote. It is possible that the codebase may contain keys such as power toggle, power on, and power off. Finally, verify that the default power command and operations are correct by pressing the Test button. If your device's power operation requires a long press or a composite command, please adjust the default settings first. Press Trigger first before selecting any buttons on this page to make sure you have selected the right power button for this device. After testing and ensuring it works correctly, confirm the completion. If your TV needs to switch inputs but the device starts up slowly, you can add a delay after the power command here. In this way, when the activity is opened, the system has enough time to wait for the TV to complete the startup process, avoiding the signal source switch command being ignored. After confirming the power settings, you will be navigated back to the Devices page. You will notice that the Power Settings tab has been removed. In case you need to modify the power settings in the future, please click on the Edit button and select Power Settings from the options bar. This will allow you to directly adjust the settings as needed. The remaining steps are the same as previously described. Once you have followed these instructions, you can customize the power settings for your devices. These settings are responsible for controlling the device's behavior automatically while switching between activities. It is recommended that you check the default settings or modify the device behavior as per your requirements. After making your selections, review and confirm them to ensure they meet your preferences and device needs. This video will guide you through the source configuration for devices that you can switch inputs, such as TVs, projectors, AV receivers, or HDMI extenders. If you're looking to control devices while switching between activities automatically, you'll find the source configuration feature very useful. It's similar to power settings and allows you to manage devices that can be switched between inputs. Before starting the source configuration, make sure you have added devices. If you haven't added any yet, you can consult the Adding Devices article. When you add a new device, you may notice a Not Configured tab on the right side of the device. This is a reminder that you need to complete some tasks before creating an activity. Click on this tag for more detailed. After devices are added in the application, you will see a warm tip at the top of the page, reminding you to complete the source configuration before creating an activity. To do so, click on Source Configuration to enter the settings page. If your page does not display a warm tip, click Edit and choose Source Configuration from the options bar. The screen will ask you if you need to switch inputs. You can choose according to your needs. For example, the TV and AV receiver can switch inputs, but if you connect other devices such as STB, streaming media box, or DVD player to the AV receiver and not to the TV, you don't need to change the TV input. For the TV setup, select No Need to Switch Input and click OK to exit. The Source Configuration tab on the Device Control page disappears. However, for the AV receiver, you must select I need to switch input and proceed to configure it. For the AV receiver setup, select I need to switch input and continue the configuration process. When you start configuring the source information, the X-Series system will assist you in specifying how the devices switch between inputs, available inputs, and their arrangement. This information is vital for the system to calculate the operational steps when activities begin and automatically change to the correct input. Follow the prompts on the app page to complete the subsequent settings. You can click on the corresponding switch method below to view detailed instructions. Suppose your device has a dedicated button for each input. In that case, the app screen will suggest you choose the Direct Input Switching mode and automatically select possible inputs in the next step for your confirmation. Ensure you have checked all the required inputs and rename them if necessary. Once you're done, click Confirm to save and complete the configuration. Not all devices support this switching method. Typically, you need to use the switching method of the original remote control. However, if the code library includes direct commands corresponding to the input, the app will display a recommended label, allowing you to choose this method directly. Bring up the navigation menu. First, confirm the method of switching inputs and the commands used for switching. Next, enter the source list strictly according to the built-in menu order of the device. If the order of the source list entries does not match the actual situation of the device, it may cause confusion when switching activities. Finally, confirm the current source location. This allows the system to automatically switch to the correct input when activities start. Input toggling/cycling first. Select the commands used for switching input. Next, enter the source list strictly according to the built-in menu order of the device. Finally, confirm the current source location. This allows the system to automatically switch to the correct input when activities start. This guide will show you how to create a new activity using your device control system. Before you create a new activity, it is important to make sure that you have added all the required devices and configured the power settings and source configuration appropriately. If you need any assistance with these steps, please refer to our tutorials on adding devices, power settings, and source configuration. These resources will guide you through the process and ensure that you have everything set up correctly. Once you have added your devices and set up the necessary configurations, you can switch to the Activities page and create a new activity. navigate to the Activities page. You can start by clicking the plus icon to create a new activity. Then, follow the on-screen instructions to complete the procedure. Select the devices you want to control. Choose an input source for the activity. Select on or off here based on the current power status of devices. If devices were selected as always on or no power switch under the power settings page in their device pages before, then manually power on these devices first and select on this page. Stage 2. You can assign remote buttons to control different devices. Check and confirm the device that you want the volume keys of SofaBaton Remote to control. Choose the device that you would like the additional keys on the X remote to control. If the default selected device is not the one you want, it is essential to make changes to avoid discrepancies between the activity button functions and your expectations. If you need to customize a button to control the third device included in the activity, you can make modifications and reassign commands after creating the activity. Stage 3. Type in the name of the activity and then save it. If you'd like to modify the activity further, press Edit for the activity and select Startup Settings to add a step-tire command or a delay. For example, if your TV takes a long time to turn on, you may need to add a delay and move it to a position between turning on and switching inputs.